Hi, my name is Alessandro Cangelosi and that's a video tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for MaxCookie. This time we have to continue working on the PlanetZ series. In the past tutorial we created the environment, so we created the Earth-like planet, as you see there, and the alien planet we have to destroy. Today I'd like to start working on some effects, as for example the Krakatoa effects there, or the energy line, the laser, and I like to start working maybe on the planet texture there, or maybe just the texture. We have to see what we can do with the time we have. So let's start with the particles there. And it will be a really simple setup. So we need to move particles from there to there. Okay, so let's use a particle system, a particle flow, and we call it PF laser. This will be really simple as setup because I don't like to waste time doing complex setup. So let's go there and let's zoom near the planet. Okay, we can also create directly using the align there. So we can align to the center with a right axis rotation. Okay, and then we can move using the local. Until the planet's surface, maybe just a little bit like that. Okay, so if we move, you see that the particles going in this way, but we need a different setup. So let's scale there. Okay, the particles are there before, so we have to say, for example, -30, and the particles are starting from the position is to the pivot. So you see that now the particles are moving in this way. Sorry, but the but the particles continue to be emitted until the maybe the end for the moment, or maybe less. So when the particles are going to the surface, maybe there the laser will stop because we have the completely distraction of the planet. So let's go back there and let's say that we like to have, let's say, lines. So you see that now we have just lines going in this way. Okay. Then let's go there and let's select a space warp. We'll use the vortex, and also the vortex will be aligned to the line. Okay, and then we'll move it there. Okay, back in particle flow, we have to assign the force. So let's go there and let's select force. We don't need rotation for the moment. So add, and we select the vortex. Let's see what happened. Actually, you see, we see nothing. So let's see. Okay, you see the particles going in this way, and then the vortex is removed. Let's go there and let's say that it starts at -30 and it ends at 300. Let's select again the particles. So you see that the particles are moving, but they are moving too slow. So first of all, I like to change there the particle colors because we don't see the particles. So let's go for a green color, and there let's say 100%. So you see we have less power. Okay, we have to change and tweak some parameters. So let's go there and let's say that, okay, let's go there and we start playing a little bit with the damping. We need a little bit less speed. That's the speed damping there. So let's see what happened. You see that we are obviously later we have particles going through whole direction. Okay, so let's go to have more particles inside the viewport to be able to understand what we are doing. So let's say 2000 particles. Okay, so you see that's our feature actually, and you see how it looks. Let's save with the right name in the right folder, and that's part 2. Okay, I like to add some particles flying away there just to create a little bit of chaos, so we need to use the spawning. So we'll say there that we'll have the spawning. Okay, and let's copy there. And the spawning, we'll use a different display just to see the particles going away, and we'll use the dots. Okay, you see that the spawning now is really huge. Let's say that we have spawnable 15% of particles. Then we can go again to have the lines. So that's what we have actually. But I like to have, let's say that we have just a little bit of speed, and we can say 75% with no divergence. Okay, so the particles are moving there. Let's say that we have some variation, 25%, and we say that this particle will be deleted after a while, let's say maybe 40 frames. Okay, and again let's go for tick to be sure that we see in the right way. Okay, that's too low, so let's say 100. Okay, let's go back to the spawning there, and let's say that we have 85% of the speed. Okay, and I like to have some chaos there. The best way is to use, we can use a wind. Now we have also to find the right scale, and to find the right scale, the most simple way is to use a super spray, and we say to the super spray to have 100% particles, and we say that the particles still persist for 300 and the life is 300. Okay, and this one will be linked to the wind, and then to the wind we can have less strength, but we need some let's see how it looks. Let's say that the strength is 0, so we'll have just noise. Let's try it, something like that, then we can adjust if you don't like it. Okay, so back there, and we have a force for this particle there. Let's say there, at the wind. and we say let's start with a low value, and this will be as lines. Okay, let's say that the force is higher. Okay, obviously there we have the spawning, and let's say that we have the per seconds. And let's say that we have just a really low speed, so you see you have the spawning just around. Okay, and let's say that we have more speed to have the speed going to the laser there, and we need also a drag force. So there drag, and the drag is minus 30, and let's say 600, so the drag will be for the entire time. So let's say that there we have another force, and this force is the drag. Okay, you see that these particles are moving in this way. And let's see what happens when the ray is over. Okay, I like to see if we have the rays, the drag force also there. So copy and paste. But there it will be lower, just to see. So the rays is moving, and then it's exploding. So it's really good in this way, but you see we need the particles starting before. So let's say that the particles are starting for minus 100, and that the speed is 15, so it's double. So let's see, you see that the particles are still moving, but I don't like how it looks. So let's go for minus 30 as before, and the speed is maybe 10. Okay, and let's see what happens if we have the particles at minus 100, and let's check it. Minus 30. Okay, let's imagine so that we have this ray at the beginning, then we have the second rays coming. Okay. So we have the first one that is burning the surface, then arrive this one that will destroy the surface. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Okay, and save, and now we have to play with the setup there. So this one and this one will be the matte selection for Krakatoa. So now we can have a light there, a really high light, and one other light maybe there. So let's start with a standard Omni. We can create it there, and we can align to this one, to the center or pivot. Okay, let's see it's on the right way. We need to have the shadows for Krakatoa, if we need shadows maybe projected, and then we need the color, and the color will be something like that. And let's say that is really high, 1.5, and we have the far attenuation. So the far is maybe there, and the near, sorry, and the near is there. Okay, so back to the particles. We need a lot of particles now, so the first thing I will try to do is to select the particles and tune the particles to have no spawning, so we can concentrate on the main particles. Then we have to set Krakatoa as main rendering engine, so assign render and Krakatoa. Okay, so we have also there the interface set to on. So for the moment we have no math, nothing is set, so I'd like just to see what happens if we see there the particles, but there is something wrong. Okay, let's use also the spawning because we need it. Let's go there and let's render. And you see it's really fast to render, and that's the result. Obviously the particle color is wrong, so we can go inside Krakatoa and we can start saying that the main color is something like that. So if we render, obviously you see that we have the right color. Then let's see the alpha. That's the alpha. Let's go to have a lower density. Okay, something like that. And let's move this light over the z-axis. Oh, sorry. I mean the light. And render, and that's the result. Let's go for something really high. Okay, so we have more lighting in this area, and let's imagine that we have the motion blur. Okay, I think we can add it. Okay, now I'd like to have more particles, so let's start playing with a particles mount. So let's select PF laser. Let's go there and let's say that in the viewport we'll see the 5% of the particles. And there we have 20,000 particles. We are talking again about a really low amount of particles. But you see that we are starting to see something more interesting. So let's go there still, and let's say that we are talking about 200,000. It is, you see, updating the particles. So you see the result. Actually the alpha channel is higher and it is going in the right way. So we can imagine to add these effects. We have to tune the method, so we have the method there, and let's imagine the same with, let's say, maybe 5 segments for the motion blur. So it is creating. So that's, for example, a frame, and I like to see how it looks over the render. So for the moment I save just the frame there. Let's call it kr.tiff, and we'll save it in TIFF file format. Okay, that's right, and save. So we need again combustion. So I'll open combustion. I have to reconfigure the resolution there. So file, preferences, and I'm setting to use it on the monitor there. Okay, and I open the right file, open workspace, and I go to open it. I'm choosing the file. Okay, so I can close. I have to open again combustion. Okay, and we have to open the last one. Perfect. Okay, so I like to merge the file, and let's go to see which frame we rendered the 72. So in combustion we have to go at 72 and import footage, and I have to go in the right folder. I'm doing this one on the other monitor because it is complex to use a single monitor. Let's go for KeyArchive. Okay. So that's the actual result. We can say to use the multiplier there, and you see that it is not so much visible still the rendering, and there, for example, we can play a little bit with the color correction to have the color that we prefer, and we can also play you see, as we like to have it, and I can go there and say that this one must be in that mode. Okay, you see how it is working, and let's see if we can find another way. Okay, something like that. I like to see with more particles what happen, but to have more particles I prefer to have less particles there at the beginning, so let's say 20,000, and then we can say that the spawning is higher, so we have something like 30. So you see we have less particles, but we have more particles there. And let's re-render a frame. So that's the result. Let's try to save it again. Let's go on over the old file, KeyArch, save. Okay, and in combustion we can try to reload, so replace, and I replace with the same file. I'm on the other monitor there. So inside the right folder I'm choosing the file KeyArch. So that's actually what we are seeing. So you see that we see less stuffs, it is less visible, so we can have more and more particles during the spawning. So let's say that we have maybe 100 during the spawning, and let's try to render again and we'll see how it looks. Okay, let's go there and resave over the old one. Save. Perfect. And back in combustion, let's try to replace, and we'll see if we have enough. So that's the effects actually, and it is not bad, I have to admit, and I like just to see. You see, we can, for example, have it there, and we can. I like to maybe work a little bit with the coloring And let's see if we have a little bit of glow using the stylites. Glow. Okay, you see that we are obtaining something more visible. So let's go at 72. Okay, and I like to see what happens when we are more near the end of the render there, and I like to override the mission, and let's see to create a strange color. Okay, re-render. It is calculating there. Let's save. I'm back in combustion to check it. I think it will change nothing so much, but I think it will be good enough to play with. So just to have an idea, I like to try to have more density, to have it more visible, so we can see if it is better. Okay, let's check with more density, key R, and save, and back in combustion. Replace the same file. Okay, it is more visible, and maybe it is a little bit better. So let's imagine that this is okay in this way, and now we can go there, and I like to see what happens when we have a lot of particles at the end. So that's our ray, and it's interesting to see also there what happened. We can imagine also to have some kind of lighting there, and now we see how it looks, and then how it looks when we have the particles dispersion. And if it is okay, we have the new layer that can be added to the comp. Okay, let's see how it looks when it's comped. And this frame is the 184. So reload, same file, and let's go at 184. So that's the actual, you see, actual energy. So let's reset, because now it's more visible. So we can play a little bit with it. And I like to see, you see, when I change the colors, how it looks. So if we have this one, I like to have just a little bit, and maybe if we have this one over it and set as add, you see we can give more light, and we can set this one to screen, or maybe let's play with the hue. And you see we have a little bit of power to change the color there, but nothing so much. Just a little bit. That's with the glow. Okay. So something like that will come to the heart. as an energy coming to the planet, and we can again save the workspace with a new name. Okay, so back there I'd like just to see when we have the particles flying away what happen, because that's really important. Okay, you see there it is happening something really strange, and I like to see how it looks. So it will take a little bit, so I stop the recording during the update of the particle. Okay, it is starting to render, you see, and the result seems really interesting. Okay, so this is the 359. Let's save the frame with the same name and reload. There we have to reload 2 times. So key R there and key R. Okay, and we have to go at 359. Okay, so that's the result there, but obviously now we stay under the planet, so we have to stay over. And the first one is the difference. We have to go to normal, and you see without the color correction, that's the result. Okay, we need for sure to have more density, but we stay in the right way, because we can obviously use this one also in a different way than this one as an add. So you see we can create a strange effects there. Okay, let's go back in combustion, and you see that's the effects, and I like to play a little bit with Krakatoa, and let's see without the math, just to be fast, and without this one. Let's see, for example, with 4. Okay, let's see, to save over so we can find the right parameters there, and the same file again, and this one must be normal. So you see that we are starting to see the color. Let's go back to 3ds Max, and let's play with maybe 7. And saving again, and again back there. We have to reload and choose the file. Okay, you see that we are starting to see something different there. Okay, and I like to see just playing a little bit more, and let's go with assumption 2. So you see also strange colors there, but I like to have a little bit of density more. And save over the old folder. You have to imagine also that we will see the stuffs coming while on the planet are happening other effects. Okay, so you see that's the result, and that's without color correction. If we like to color correct it, but we can stay with this value there. So you see what is happening. Okay, and we have also to tune the lighting because we are seeing the particles going there, and we need also to see with the matte what happened, because now the particles are going there inside. So with the matte, we should arrive just to the surface there, and we have maybe later to prepare also a lighting path to illuminate the planet. Okay, so that's what happened when we heat the planet and everything is destroyed. Okay, so back, save, and we are ready to have this one completely comped. What we have to cover now is to have a masking. Let's save there. We have to have a masking heating over the ground, and we have all the particles layer add to the ground there. And that's something we have to do, and just to start playing with it, we can use an UV map there. Let's say that we have over this axis and fit. Okay, let's imagine to give, let's go back to the scanline render, because we don't need, or maybe we can go back to mental ray because we have to render maybe just some area or maybe the entire look, entire frame from 0. And this one will be called, let's say, B, because it is another part of the project. So what we need there is, first of all, let's pick the particles and stop. Okay, and we need, okay, that's the shader you see, and there inside the composite we can have another layer that will be the mask to control, to control all the other effects, and I like to see directly there. So we need a gradient ramp using the map channel 2, so this one. Okay, and we have to see it there, and let's say there that we like to see the shaded material with maps. Okay, let's go back there, and this one, let's say that we have the spiral one there, and I mean, sorry, the radial. Okay, and you see that the mapping is there. Okay, let's see that we have the black there too, then black and black. Okay, you see that we have this map there, and then we can pick the gizmo and we can rotate it by 90 degrees, but we are not moving. We have some kind of problem. Okay, it's right. So this one cut, and we have to select the planet and paste. Okay, so now let's try. We have some kind of problem with those map tools, isolate selection. Okay, now it is working. So you see, we are playing with this one. Let's remove the tiling. You see that we can have this one really little, and we need a mask to make happening the effects. So let's imagine that we have the effects there, and we have to invert this map because we need to see the effects inside. Late, and this one will be white. Okay, so again, and there it is white because we need the black, and this one delete. So we have the effects just there. Okay, and this one will be, obviously we have to tune there the mapping. This one will be there as a swap, and there let's imagine that we have just a color for the moment. So let's say an RGB tint, and we'll go for a dark brown, and there we have just black. And this one is used as multiply. So we'll have a strange color there, just on this area. If we go to render, let's say without a really low quality there, you'll see that we'll have an area where we have dark detail. You see, now everything has picking this dark color there. So we have to play with this map to control where we have the burning effects, and it will be animated with the gradient that we are using there, and we'll use this map also to generate particles emitted by the surface and then to destroy the surface. So it was just to introduce what we'll do next time. Next time we'll cover the shading of the burning effects over the surface, and we'll start to add the particles effects and fluids effects over the surface there. And then we'll have also to destroy the planet. So let's save just for the moment this temp file. So for the moment that's all, and I hope to see you back on MaxCookie to check for new tutorial coming from cgcookie.com. Bye.